the genesis of laughter unveiling the professor's life. Get ready to laugh with the professor's life. This isn't your typical sitcom. It's a hilarious look at the life of Professor Jack, a man juggling more than just textbooks. Imagine a world where lectures collide with diaper explosions and research papers compete with mother-in-law mayhem. That's the professor's life in a nutshell. Every week, we'll follow Professor Jack as he navigates the wacky world of academia. He's got asynchronous classes, demanding research, and even his own business on the side. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Jack's also a husband and a father, trying to keep his sanity amidst the chaos. Join Jack, his super-organized wife Rachel, their 3 tech-savvy kids, and a hilariously meddling mother-in-law. Together, they'll prove that even in the most chaotic moments, family always comes first. And trust us, there will be chaos. Meet the Professor Jack and the Academic Circus. At the heart of our sitcom is Professor Jack, a man of contradictions. He's brilliant, but easily distracted. Passionate about his work, but constantly battling deadlines. He's the professor who dreams of groundbreaking research while simultaneously trying to remember if he packed his son's lunch. Jack's saving grace? His wife, Rachel. She's the marketing guru who somehow manages to keep their family afloat. Rachel is the queen of organization, the voice of reason, and the glue that holds their chaotic world together. Then there are the kids, each a unique blend of chaos and charm. The oldest, a tech whiz who's always plugged in. The middle one, a social butterfly navigating the world of hybrid learning. And the youngest, a whirlwind of energy who keeps everyone on their toes. And let's not forget the mother-in-law. She's a force of nature, known for her questionable housekeeping skills, penchant for gossip, and uncanny ability to turn a simple conversation into a full-blown family drama. A home of chaos and love. The professor's domain. The professor's life unfolds in 2 main locations. First, there's Jack's home office, a hilarious juxtaposition of order and chaos. It's a space where sleek furniture and high-tech gadgets collide with piles of ungraded papers and half-eaten bowls of cereal. Then there's the family home itself, a bustling hub of activity where family dinners often turn into impromptu dance parties, and living room furniture doubles as obstacle courses. It's a place where laughter echoes through the hallways, even when the Wi-Fi is down and the dog is eating homework. This is where the magic happens, where Jack and his family navigate the ups and downs of life with humor and heart. It's a place where dirty dishes pile up, kids interrupt Zoom meetings, and the mother-in-law always seems to be in the middle of it all. The heart of the humor balancing act and family ties. The professor's life is a love letter to the chaos of modern family life, set against the backdrop of academia. It's about the constant juggling act of work, family, and sanity. It's about the humor found in burnt dinners, forgotten permission slips, and those awkward moments when your child walks in on your Zoom lecture. We'll laugh at Jack's attempts to maintain a professional facade while his kids wreak havoc in the background. We'll cringe at his fumbled attempts to help with homework, only to realize he hasn't studied algebra in decades. And we'll cheer him on as he tries to keep his business afloat while navigating the minefield of faculty politics. But at its core, the professor's life is about the enduring power of family. It's about the unconditional love, the shared laughter, and the way even the most frustrating moments can become cherished memories. Professor Jack, master of disaster in academia. Professor Jack isn't your stereotypical, stuffy academic. He's a whirlwind of energy, constantly bouncing between lectures, research papers, and business ventures. Picture a man who can quote Shakespeare one minute and then trip over a Lego castle the next. That's Jack. He's passionate about his work, sometimes to a fault. He gets lost in thought, forgets appointments, and once even wore mismatched shoes to a faculty meeting. But what Jack lacks in organization, he makes up for in enthusiasm. He's the professor who stays late to help students, even if it means missing dinner. Jack's heart is always in the right place, even if his head is often stuck in the clouds. He's a dreamer, an idealist, and a bit of a klutz. But beneath the absent-mindedness and the occasional disaster, there's a brilliant mind and a kind soul. Rachel, the supermom who does it all with style. Meet Rachel, the woman who makes it all look easy. She's the CEO of their household, juggling her own demanding career with the needs of 3 kids, a messy mother-in-law, and a husband who's constantly misplacing his keys. Rachel is the epitome of grace under pressure. She can whip up a gourmet meal while simultaneously mediating a sibling squabble and answering work emails. She's the queen of multitasking, the master of organization, and the only person who can decipher Jack's chaotic calendar. But don't let the polished exterior fool you. Rachel has a playful side too. She's not afraid to get silly with her kids, indulge in a little karaoke night with Jack, or playfully tease her mother-in-law about her latest matchmaking attempt. The kids' agents of chaos, masters of technology. The Miller kids are a force of nature. They're tech-savvy, quick-witted, and always up for a good time, even if it means turning the living room into a fort or using their parents' laptops for their latest online gaming marathon. There's 14-year-old Josh, the tech whiz who can code in his sleep and spends most of his waking hours glued to a screen. Then there's 12-year-old Emily, the social butterfly who navigates the world of online friendships and social media with the grace of a seasoned influencer. And finally, there's 10-year-old Sophia, the youngest and most energetic of the bunch. She's a whirlwind of imagination, constantly creating elaborate games, imaginary friends, and the occasional artistic masterpiece on the living room walls. In Section 4, Grandma, the wild card in the House of Hilarity. No sitcom family is complete without a quirky grandparent, and the professor's life delivers with Grandma Ethel. She's a lovable but meddling woman who adds a healthy dose of chaos to the already chaotic household. Grandma Ethel lives by her own rules. Housekeeping isn't her strong suit. She has a knack for giving unsolicited advice, and she firmly believes that everyone, especially Jack, needs to be married off immediately. But beneath the quirks and the occasional disaster, Grandma Ethel has a heart of gold. She adores her grandchildren. She supports Jack and Rachel in her own unique way, and she always has a funny story or a piece of wisdom to share. Section 5. A day in the life-controlled chaos, love, and laughter. A typical day in the Miller household is anything but typical. It's a whirlwind of school runs, work deadlines, forgotten lunches, and the constant background noise of online meetings, video games, and Grandma Ethel's soap operas. Imagine this. Jack's trying to deliver a lecture from his home office, but his daughter keeps interrupting to ask for help with her math homework. Rachel's on a conference call, desperately trying to maintain her composure as the dog barks incessantly in the background. And in the midst of it all, Grandma Ethel's busy trying to set Jack up on a blind date with the cashier from the local grocery store, convinced that he and Rachel are on the verge of a divorce. But through it all, there's love, there's laughter, there's the comforting chaos that comes with being a family, navigating the ups and downs of life with humor and a whole lot of heart. Section 1. The Home Office. A professor's sanctum of controlled chaos. Step into Professor Jack's home office if you dare. It's a space where academic rigor collides with everyday chaos, resulting in a hilarious mishmash of books, technology, and the occasional rogue sock. This is where Jack tries to maintain an air of scholarly sophistication, despite the constant interruptions and distractions. Imagine a large oak desk piled high with textbooks, academic journals, and student papers sprinkled with coffee rings. A state-of-the-art computer, essential for online lectures and research, sits precariously near a half-eaten bowl of cereal and a sippy cup. The walls are adorned with a mixture of framed diplomas and family photos, showcasing Jack's dual roles as a scholar and a family man. A whiteboard covered in equations and lecture notes competes for attention with a child's drawing held up by colorful magnets. This is Jack's sanctuary, his battleground against deadlines and distractions. It's where he tries to focus on grading papers, while his son practices his drum lessons next door, where he attempts intellectual conversations with colleagues over Zoom as his daughter belts out the latest pop song. The family room is the heart of the Miller household, a cozy and lived-in space where laughter echoes off the walls. It's a testament to the joys and chaos of family life. Imagine a plush, oversized sofa, perfect for family movie nights and impromptu pillow fights. A large bay window overlooks the front yard, often framing the antics of the neighborhood kids. A large flat-screen TV, the focal point for family movie nights and sporting events. Beneath it, a coffee table bears the scars of countless craft projects and board game marathons. This is where the Millers gather, sharing stories, laughter, and the warmth of togetherness. The Miller kitchen is a testament to the fact that life, much like a good meal, is best served with a dash of chaos and a whole lot of love. It's a culinary battleground where burnt dinners are met with good-natured teasing and experimental recipes bring the family together. Picture a spacious kitchen with warm, inviting colors, the aroma of brewing coffee, and the promise of a hearty breakfast. A large, worn wooden table sits at the center of it all, a gathering place for family meals and late-night conversations. The Miller backyard is an extension of their home, a haven for relaxation, a playground for the kids, and a frequent stage for Jack's well-intentioned but often disastrous attempts at home improvement. It's a place where nature's tranquility meets the unpredictable nature of family life, resulting in a hilarious and heartwarming blend of relaxation and chaos. Imagine a sprawling green lawn, the kind perfect for impromptu soccer games, lazy afternoon picnics, and Jack's ambitious, albeit often misguided attempts at gardening. A weathered swing set stands tall in the corner, a testament to countless hours of childhood laughter and the occasional scraped knee. A patio table, often adorned with the remnants of al fresco dining and unfinished craft projects, provides a scenic backdrop for family barbecues and evening stargazing sessions. A rickety treehouse, built by Jack with more enthusiasm than carpentry skills, stands as a symbol of his dedication to creating lasting memories for his children. This is where the Millers escape the confines of their busy lives, trading screen time for fresh air, homework for games of tag, and the stresses of work for the simple pleasure of soaking up the sun. Section 5. Beyond the walls, the campus, and the quirky town. The show ventures out, showcasing the quirky charm of their small-town community and the dynamics of academia. Picture a college campus with brick buildings, green lawns, and students discussing philosophy and gossip. Jack navigates lectures, faculty meetings, and awkward encounters with student neighbors. Beyond academia lies a quirky town with eccentric locales and bustling businesses. This mix of academia and small-town life provides a humorous backdrop for the Miller family's adventures. Section 1. The juggling act, academia, business, and family life. The professor's life dives headfirst into the chaotic world of Professor Jack, a man who seems to have bitten off more than he can chew. He's a professor, an entrepreneur, a husband, and a father, all rolled into one perpetually exhausted, often flustered package. The show's humor stems from Jack's constant struggle to maintain balance. We watch him scramble to meet deadlines for research papers while simultaneously trying to coach his son's Little League team. We see him field business calls during family dinners, his phone conversations punctuated by the sounds of children arguing over the last slice of pizza. Each episode throws new and hilarious curveballs at Jack's carefully constructed, or rather haphazardly assembled, schedule. A surprise visit from the dean, a plumbing disaster that turns the kitchen into a wading pool, a school project that requires building a working volcano, just another day in the life of Professor Jack. Through it all, Jack's unwavering optimism and his family's unflinching support remind us that even in the midst of chaos, there's humor to be found, and love always finds a way. Section 2, The Price of Knowledge. Hilarious takes on higher education. The professor's life doesn't shy away from poking fun at the hallowed halls of academia. From the absurdities of faculty meetings to the perils of grading student papers, the show offers a comedic glimpse into the world behind the lectern. We witness Jack's struggles with eccentric colleagues like the pompous department head who speaks only in Shakespearean quotes, or the scatterbrained professor who can't remember where she parked her car, let alone the topic of her own lecture. We cringe at the thought of grading essays on existentialism while sleep-deprived and fueled by cold coffee. But the professor's life also celebrates the joys of teaching, the thrill of intellectual discovery, and the unique bond between professors and students. We see Jack's passion for his subject matter, his dedication to nurturing young minds, and his genuine desire to make a difference in the world, one lecture at a time. Section 3, Tech versus Tradition. The digital age collides with family values. In the age of smartphones, social media, and virtual reality, the Miller family navigates the ever-blurring lines between the digital world and real-life connections. We watch as Jack attempts to teach online classes, battling technical difficulties, unruly chat rooms, and the occasional student who appears to be attending lecture from inside a pillow fort. We see his kids glued to their devices, fluent in the language of memes and emojis, yet sometimes struggling to communicate their feelings face-to-face. The professor's life explores the challenges of raising a family in a world saturated by technology, while also highlighting the importance of unplugging, connecting, and cherishing those precious moments of genuine human interaction. Section 4, The Mother-in-Law Effect. Chaos, wisdom, and unconditional love. No sitcom family is complete without a meddling yet lovable mother-in-law, and Grandma Ethel in the professor's life is no exception. She's a force of nature, known for her questionable fashion choices, her uncanny ability to attract disaster, and her unwavering belief in the power of a good casserole to solve any problem. Grandma Ethel's presence in the Miller household is a constant source of chaos and laughter. She disrupts Jack's work with her endless phone calls, rearranges Rachel's furniture with reckless abandon, and dispenses unsolicited advice like candy. But beneath the chaos, there's a deep well of love and wisdom. Grandma Ethel might drive them crazy sometimes, but the Millers know that she's always there for them, ready with a hug, a home-cooked meal, and a healthy dose of perspective. Section 5. Finding the funny in failure life lessons learned through laughter. The professor's life embraces the idea that life is messy, unpredictable, and rarely goes according to plan. It's a show that finds humor in the everyday mishaps, the awkward moments, and the occasional epic fails that make us human. We watch as Jack's carefully crafted lectures go off the rails, his business ventures crash and burn, and his attempts at home repair result in more damage than repair. We see Rachel struggle to balance work and family, her perfectly organized life occasionally imploding. But through it all, the Millers never give up. They dust themselves off, they laugh at their mistakes, and they remember that even in the midst of failure, there's always a reason to smile. Because ultimately, the professor's life reminds us that family, love, and laughter are the greatest gifts of all. The academic battlefield, where chalk dust meets family drama. The professor's life turns the ivory tower into a hilarious battleground where academic pursuits collide with the realities of family life. Jack, the eternal optimist, often finds himself caught in the crossfire, his well-intentioned plans crumbling faster than a poorly constructed thesis statement. Imagine this. Jack's preparing for a high-stakes presentation, his home office transformed into a war room of charts, graphs, and hastily scribbled notes. He paces back and forth, rehearsing his speech, only to be interrupted by a chorus of demands from his offspring. His son needs help with his algebra homework, a subject Jack vaguely remembers from his own college days. His daughter insists on showing him her latest dance routine, a spectacle that involves questionable music choices and even more questionable dance moves. And just when he thinks he can handle no more, Grandma Ethel bursts in, convinced that he's neglecting his duties as a husband and father in favor of his silly little research project. Generational divide when tech-savvy kids school their parents. In the Miller household, the digital age isn't just a concept, it's a way of life. Jack and Rachel, products of a time when rotary phones and encyclopedias were considered cutting-edge technology, often find themselves outpaced by their tech-savvy children. The kids navigate the online world with the ease of seasoned explorers, fluent in the language of memes, emojis, and viral trends that leave their parents utterly bewildered. Jack, once a respected scholar in his field, now relies on his teenage son to troubleshoot his Wi-Fi connection and explain the intricacies of social media. Dinner table conversations often devolve into hilarious clashes of generations. Jack attempts to engage his children in discussions about current events, only to be met with blank stares and pronouncements of boring. Rachel tries to set boundaries on screen time, only to discover that her children have already found ways to circumvent her carefully crafted rules. The art of compromise, finding harmony in a house divided. With its diverse cast of characters and their equally diverse personalities, The Professor's Life celebrates the art of compromise as a necessary survival skill in any family. Each episode presents a new set of challenges, forcing the Millers to negotiate, adapt, and occasionally just agree to disagree. Imagine a typical Saturday morning in the Miller household. Jack envisions a peaceful day of grading papers and catching up on his reading. Rachel has grand plans for a family outing to the park, complete with a picnic lunch and games of frisbee. The kids naturally have other ideas. Josh wants to spend the day immersed in the virtual world, battling mythical creatures and conquering online quests with his friends. Emily is determined to perfect her latest TikTok dance routine, transforming the living room into a makeshift stage. And little Sophia, well, she just wants to build a fort out of couch cushions and blankets, preferably one tall enough to reach the ceiling. Section 4. Love in the time of chaos, strengthening bonds through shared mishaps. In the midst of the mayhem, The Professor's Life reminds us that the most enduring bonds are often forged in the crucible of shared experiences, both the triumphant and the disastrous. The Miller family might not always get it right, but they face life's challenges head-on, their love for each other serving as a constant source of strength and resilience. We watch as they navigate the ups and downs of family life with humor and grace, their imperfections only serving to make them more relatable and endearing. When Jack's latest business venture goes belly up, it's Rachel who picks up the pieces, offering words of encouragement and a reminder that success isn't measured solely in financial gains. When Rachel's important work presentation is sabotaged by a rogue stain on her favorite blouse, it's Jack who swoops in to save the day, armed with a sewing kit and a can-do attitude that's both endearing and slightly terrifying. And when the kids face their own share of setbacks, a lost soccer game, a failed test, a broken friendship, it's the unwavering support of their family that helps them dust themselves off and try again. Section 5. From Flustered to Funny, the Evolution of Professor Jack. At the heart of The Professor's Life is the transformative journey of Professor Jack Miller, a man who begins the series as a somewhat hapless academic, struggling to reconcile his lofty intellectual pursuits with the demands of his chaotic family life. We first meet Jack as a man perpetually on the verge of a nervous breakdown, his days a blur of lectures, deadlines, and domestic disasters. He's easily flustered, prone to absent-mindedness, and often finds himself outmaneuvered by his own children. But as the series progresses, Jack undergoes a subtle yet significant transformation. He learns to embrace the chaos, to find humor in the unexpected, and to appreciate the simple joys of family life. He discovers that true fulfillment comes not from academic accolades or entrepreneurial success, but from the love and laughter he shares with his wife, his children, and yes, even his meddling mother-in-law. Section 1. The Great Debate. From classroom chaos to cookie-catalyzed calm. In the episode aptly titled The Great Debate, Professor Jack's well-intentioned attempt to spark intellectual discourse among his students takes a turn for the disastrously hilarious. Picture this. Jack, filled with the idealism of a seasoned educator, assigns his students a debate topic designed to ignite their passions and challenge their perspectives. He envisions a lively yet respectful exchange of ideas, a testament to the power of critical thinking and reasoned argumentation. What he gets instead is a chaotic free-for-all, a virtual shouting match fueled by sleep deprivation, caffeine overload, and the anonymity of online forums. Students devolve into arguments over the proper use of emojis. Technical difficulties transform eloquent points into garbled sentences, and Jack watches in horror as his carefully crafted lesson plan goes up in flames. Meanwhile, back at the Miller household, Rachel is struggling to maintain her own semblance of order. The kids are home from school, each engaged in their own brand of digital mayhem. Grandma Ethel is convinced that the neighbor's cat is plotting a home invasion, and the washing machine has chosen this precise moment to stage a dramatic and very wet rebellion. Jack's 40th birthday is an emotional roller coaster. He faces the realization that those gray hairs aren't just a trick of the light. Rachel surprises him with a meticulously planned celebration. She envisions a romantic breakfast, a heartfelt card, and a quiet evening. Jack, however, is caught in an existential crisis. He's contemplative and emotional, amusing his pragmatic wife. Minor calamities exacerbate Jack's anxieties throughout the day. One of the most memorable scenes in the professor's life centers around a wardrobe malfunction that would make even the most seasoned fashion disaster veteran cringe with sympathetic horror. It's a typical day in the Miller household, meaning utter chaos reigns supreme. Jack, running late for an important online lecture, is frantically trying to get ready, while simultaneously mediating a sibling squabble over a misplaced video game controller and searching for his perpetually missing reading glasses. As he scrambles to log onto his computer, seconds before his lecture is set to begin, he glances down at his attire and realizes with growing horror that he's made a terrible, terrible mistake. It seems that in his haste, he's accidentally grabbed his son's Hawaiian shirt, a brightly colored monstrosity adorned with palm trees, parrots, and enough floral patterns to make a florist blush. His first instinct is to rip the offending garment off. Consequences be damned. But a quick glance at the clock tells him there's no time for a wardrobe change. His students are logging on, their digital faces staring expectantly from his laptop screen. He's trapped, a professor held hostage by his own sartorial negligence. The professor's life showcases the comedic chaos of Jack's academic world and delves into Rachel's demanding professional life. She's a marketing executive, master of organization, and rocks a power suit. Rachel's morning routine is a ballet of efficiency and dry wit. Navigating breakfast prep, school lunches, and work calls, she fields calls with effortless competence. Switching between reports and school reminders, her tone shifts from boardroom authority to maternal warmth. But even Rachel has her limits, tested by a demanding client with a last-minute crisis. The professor's life isn't just a sitcom, it's a love letter to the chaos and beauty of everyday life. It's a reminder that even amidst the deadlines, the dirty dishes, and the occasional existential crisis, there's humor to be found, lessons to be learned, and love to be shared. We've all experienced those moments when life feels like a runaway train, careening off the tracks of our carefully constructed plans. We've felt the frustration of mismatched socks, the despair of burnt dinners, and the sheer panic of realizing we've sent our child to school with their shirt on inside out. But the professor's life encourages us to embrace those moments, to find the humor in the chaos, and to remember that even the most ordinary days are filled with extraordinary moments of love, laughter, and connection. It's a reminder that family isn't about perfection. It's about embracing the imperfections, celebrating the quirks, and cherishing the shared journey, no matter how bumpy the ride. So, tune in to The Professor's Life, where the lectures are lively, the family dinners are unpredictable, and the mother-in-law always has a few tricks up her sleeve. It's a show that will make you laugh, cry, and maybe even call your own family to tell them you love them, even if they did just eat the last cookie. Every week, the Millers will invite you into their home, their hearts, and their hilarious misadventures. You'll meet their eccentric colleagues, their tech-savvy kids, and their meddling but well-meaning neighbors. You'll witness the triumphs and the failures, the big moments and the small, all told through the lens of humor, heart, and a healthy dose of realism. The Professor's Life is more than just a sitcom. It's a reflection of our own lives, a celebration of the messy, beautiful, and often hilarious tapestry of human experience. It's a reminder that even when life throws us curveballs, a little laughter, a lot of love, and the unwavering support of our families can help us hit a home run. So, grab your remote, gather your loved ones, and get ready to laugh along with The Professor's Life.